Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Star Season 3, Episode 1, and the name of this episode is Secrets and Lies. Now, I'm going to talk about this first because this scene really bothered my spirit, and the scene I'm talking about is when Miss Ruby, who's Derek's grandmother, gets an intruder. And the intruder doesn't want money. He wants to have sex with her. So that whole scene where we're seeing Miss Ruby, who's very outspoken, who's this pot-smoking granny who just goes off the hinges and will cut a bitch. She's about to get violated by a guy around the same age as her grandson. That shit bothered my spirit so much. I had to watch a few episodes of Friends on Netflix to get over that shit, because that shit bothered my spirit. Lee, you a messy motherfucker for that. But due to reality, things like this does happen, where there are a lot of elderly people who are being sexually assaulted by younger intruders, and it just pained my heart that she's in that house by herself and her grandson is not there, and here it is. She's about to be violated in the worst way, and there's no telling whether she could ever bounce back from that, because due to the fact that this is happening in her older age, this could make her a shell for the rest of her life. So we're gonna see how this is gonna happen, because I definitely saw the clips, from what's gonna happen this season. We definitely see that Miss Ruby is a shell of her former self. And we know that's going to send Derek on a tirade. The question, but one thing I will say, Lee, we better get that motherfucker. Get his ass. That motherfucker deserves to be in the bottom of the jail, or better, in the pits of hell for what he did to that old woman. So yeah, Lee, you better fix this shit. I'm serious, because that bothered my spirit so much, And even though Miss Ruby's a trip. Even when she had stole Derek's money and started buying shit around the house, at the end of the day, she was a good woman. And there was a moment where, where the two of them shared a moment where they were dancing to old school music and cutting up because, Derek was about to go to New York, he was about to move to New York, actually, with Alice, because we see that him and Alice had got back together. And that was a very touching moment, and it definitely hit me because those of you who know me, I recently lost my grandmother in April. So it's still, that whole situation hit home for me. But then the fact that the one time Derek wasn't there, the unthinkable happens. And we're going to see how they're going to play this out. But Lee, you fucked up for that shit. But we better get this nigga. Yeah, we better get his ass. Because I wanted to jump into that damn television and strangle the shit out that fool. Because I'm very, very serious when it comes down to our elderly and our pioneers and our ancestors. These are the people who paved the way for us to have it easier. So when you violate them, that's the highest disrespect to mankind that I could ever imagine. So Lee, you better make this shit right. And that's all I got to say about it. So let's move on. Alright, but yeah, I'm so glad that Star is back. I just had to go there first because that shit bothered my spirit. But I'm so happy that Star is back. It's starting off to a great start. Season 3 definitely is popping off. The episode picks up where it left off, where Cassie and Carlotta are pretty much got guns on each other. They going back and forth and shit. Cassie talking her shit. Carlotta's talking her shit. And then next you know, we see that the gun goes off. And we see that neither one of them gets shot. The bullet hits their mother. And she's like, don't look there, stupid. Call an ambulance. So they get an ambulance. They rush her to the hospital. And shout out to Patti LaBelle. Because Patti LaBelle be playing that role, as their mother. She was like, which one of you bitches shot me? And she was like, it was Cassie's ass. Like, how you know it wasn't your gun? And she's like, because I know you trigger happy, Cassie. You always have been. You always been quick to shoot a damn gun before thinking. And I'm like, that's exactly what the hell she did when it came down to that shootout that she set up for Andy, and it ended up killing Hayil instead. So we see right now that Carlotta and Cassie are not on good terms at all. But we actually see, but then we also see that the label is doing really well. You know, Carlotta is definitely in her lane. She's in her zone. You know, she's a hustler. She's an entrepreneur. The shop is doing a lot better because due to the fact that now she's the head of Midtown. You know, the shop is doing a lot better too, and you can tell that they've remodeled the place, and you know it's really upscale. So I'm like, that's what's up. And it's been 3 months since this situation happened. So we also find out in this episode that Star is pregnant, and Star is still on tour. She was on tour with Noah and Gigi, but Gigi got replaced by Joyce, who's played by Tiana Taylor, and there's a lot of friction there, and I'm gonna get to that. But yeah, we see that as far as Cassie and Carlotta's situation, you know, we get a scene with them in the salon where the mother pretty much said that, look, you two bitches need to fix this shit. We family at the end of the day. Let's get to the bottom of it. But it's only been 3 months since Hayil's death, and it's still really fresh. So Carlotta really ain't trying to hear shit Cassie has to say. But Cassie said that I actually liked Hayil. Hayil was good people, and I'm sorry that he got taken out. But at the end of the day, I had to send a message because, you know, Andy just thought he can just stiff me and walk away, and I had to let his ass know we don't do that shit. And of course, Carlotta is like, yeah, because even though that's the code of the streets, Carlotta ain't trying to hear that shit. She's like, yeah, but why did you have to do that to get attention? That just goes to show you a nobody. You know, because if you got to do all that to get respect, it just shows at the end of the day you really have no power and you're nothing. So they pretty much had this tit for tat, but this definitely rubs Cassie the wrong way because we see later on Cassie goes to meet up with Maurice, you know, Lance Gross' character, and she pretty much puts the moves on him, saying that, look, I'm trying to get into the industry, and I know you know a lot of people, and I know you got a lot of expertise, so let's, you know, join partnership, because she was like, I know that, you know, my sister don't want nothing to do with you, but she was wrong how she did you and shit. I'm like, Cassie, we already see that Cassie's gonna be a problem. But shout out to my girl Brandy Norwood, because Brandy is now a series regular, and it couldn't happen to anybody better than Brandy, because Brandy is such a phenomenal talent. Not only is she a great performing artist, but she's also a very good actress. And it just goes to show that, you know, Cassie can hold her own, and Cassie was that character that we all grow to love, especially from last season when she threatened Andy, was like, give me my money or else next time we won't miss, and then it'll be your munchkin ass up in the box going to see the king. I'm still chuckling at that shit. So she became my favorite with that line alone. So I'm happy that Brandy is now a series regular, but we already see that Cassie's about to start some bullshit, and she's about to bring hell to Carlotta's doorstep. So it's going to be two sisters, you know, trying to fight for their power in the music business. All right, so we see in the beginning of the episode, you know, as I mentioned, like, the salon is doing very well. Carlotta has set up this talk show, this talk show event for Take 3, and this was prior to everything falling apart. But they said that you guys can use this, you know, as a way of keeping the momentum, but then also to actually work things out. But we see that it's been 3 months. Nobody's talking to Star, not Alex nor Simone, and we actually see that Alex actually was in the plane crash, but Alex survived. but we see that she's been having these flashbacks, so she's definitely having PTSD. And we see it throughout the episode where she has these moments where she's remembering being in the plane crash and, you know, things just spiraling out of control. So she right now, but then after her being in that situation, her career is also taking off. You know, she's on every major billboard, and, you know, her photos have gone viral. So she's becoming like a star in her own right as far as being like a model. So things are taking up for her. And we see that she's also back with Derek. Simone, last time we saw from her, she went to the Dominican Republic. She's been down there with Angel, but she got homesick. She misses everything and everybody, and she actually comes back. And Simone gets into some shit herself because now Simone's 18, so she's legal. She's not legal, but she's now considered an adult. But yeah, she gets back in town and gets herself into some shit. But we can definitely see there's definitely some distance between her and Angel, and we see that, you know, by the end of the episode, she's really seriously thinking of divorcing Angel because she doesn't want to go back to the Dominican Republic. She actually missed her family and missed being in the ATL. So we definitely see during this talk show interview, they pretty much do a performance. Well, they show a video performance, and then they go and talk to the group, and you can cut the tension with a knife. And pretty much while they're doing this interview, they both Simone and Alex drop a bomb and say that, you know, this will be the last interview from Take 3 because we're breaking up. So they literally broke up on stage, and of course, you know, everybody's throwing, you know, is pretty much giving Starlight silent treatment. But we see that she tries to go to Simone like, look, why would you do that? Why would you keep me out of the dark like that? And Simone was like, well, the same thing you did when you decided to go on this tour. You could have chose not to take it, but you wanted it. Here it is. I was always thinking about the group, but here it is. You were always thinking about you. So now that I'm thinking about me, you can't be pissed about it. So I was like, Simone got a point, you know. But yeah, we saw that go down. So they really not on speaking terms at all. And then I think the guy's name is Pateo. He's now the owner of Midtown because we see that Iyanna has now got business in Europe, and she sold Midtown to this guy. I think his name is Pateo. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But I think the last movie I saw this guy in was Addicted. But yeah, I've seen him in a few things. He's definitely eye candy. And we actually see that what he wants to do is create this. He has, I think his company, I think it's called Galaxy, I think. And what he wants to do is that he wants to get rid of the music component altogether, and all he wants to do is movies, fashion, and media. And he says that, you know, I don't need a music division. So pretty much he was like, you know, telling Carlotta that Midtown is about to get shut down, even though Carlotta has landed this, I think, like $200 million toward 10-year deal. So she's making a lot of these money moves. And it was good to see Carlotta in this zone because, you know, the past 2 seasons, Carlotta was on straight struggle mode. But now we seeing that, yeah, she making money, she looking good, she's confident, and she's doing what she got to do. So she pretty much tells Mateo that, look, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Like, I'm gonna let you know that, look, music is happening here in the ATL, and to not be in the music business, you know, is insane, you know, because you got all these great talents. So she says that, look, I'm about to do this press conference. I want you to see all this great talent that I have lined up, and you can make your decision from there. Well, we already see that, because even during the interview with Take 3, somebody told somebody put it out there that there's been rumors that her and Joyce have been having a lot of verbal battles on the tour, but Star dismisses it. It's like, oh no, those are just rumors. You know how rumors are. They have a life of their own. But come to reality, they are having beef. Because they going back and forth, taking jabs. And she's like, what, you think you a star because you got one hit? She's like, no, I was born a star, bitch. I was like, okay, Star, I see you. And we just see that there's a lot of this verbal battles going on. And then we also see that Noah has been in rehab, and I think he's been clean for about 2 months. And we see that he's definitely at a better place, and you see that him and Star are still cool, and they still have that good friendship chemistry that they've always had. But we see that Joyce is still reckless. She's still drinking syrup and doing every damn thing she want to do, just as fucked up. And Joyce and Star go back and forth during the press conference backstage, and she's like, yeah, bitch, you gonna realize that at the end of the day you need to kiss the ring and all this shit. So next thing you know, during the damn press conference, both Noah and Star are on stage, and things are looking good. The crowd's hype. Pateo is looking, and he's kind of like intrigued, because he's liking Carlotta's style. And then the next thing you know, this crazy high-ass bitch, Joyce, goes up there with a damn gun, flipping the fuck out like, I'm the queen of this bitch. And she said, I told you, bitch, you need to kiss the motherfucking ring. And then the damn guards get her. She starts blasting off gunshots and shit. And I'm like, this bitch done fucked up everything. I'm like, yeah, drop that bitch. But then again, she got a big fan base, so that may not be happening. But we see that her and Alice got along, but she ain't like Star at all. So that shit was crazy. And then so therefore we see that going on. So after that, Carlotta was like, she pretty much like, after that, he's definitely not going to want to fuck with me now or mess with the music business. So I'm thinking, like, it's a done deal. So pretty much after all that went down, Simone, Star, and Alice come together, and Star was like, look, we need to figure out a way that to not lose Midtown, and because if we lose Midtown, that means we lose too, so we need to come together. And then Alex and Simone was like, oh, so are you doing this because you want to still promote your single, or you still want to you still want to be the star, and you want us to help you to shine. And pretty much Star was like, look, it ain't even about me, it's about Carlotta. Carlotta took us 3 knuckleheads in, and we literally turned her life upside down ever since we showed up on her doorstep, and she's been riding with us, and we need to ride for her. We cannot let Midtown go down. So we see that Pateo is actually having this launching event for his company. I think it's called Gravity. I said Galaxy at first. I meant Gravity. That's his brand name. And he's opening up a division in Atlanta, and he already has some successful. He's already successful in LA, New York, and many other places, and he's trying to start a division there. But the thing about it, Carlotta works her magic. He's up in there talking to investors and all of these people, business people. She goes up in there and says that, yeah, but what you guys really need is a music division of Gravity, because music is really happening here in the ATL. And then we see that Take 3 goes up and they perform, and I actually want to find that song, because that song was nice. I was really jamming to that shit. And they got the crowd jumping, and they literally, the crowd went crazy after their performance. And they bring up Carlotta, and so literally they flipped his whole fucking event. And she pretty much says that, well, I'm here to inform you to let you know that Midtown is no more. We are now Gravity Music. We're now an extension of Gravity. So she flipped it, and all of a sudden, Mateo pretty much like, I like your style. I like that. And then, he goes on stage and actually thanks her, and he was like, okay, you got me this time. But then we see that he brings up his wife. Now, earlier in the episode, we see that Simone and Alice go out, for drinks or whatever. We see that Alice is still having flashbacks because when she was on the plane, she was actually talking to this girl, and this girl was like a super fan, took a selfie with her and was talking her head off. But Alice is right now dealing with a lot at this time, especially the fact that her and Noah just broke up, and she still has feelings for Derek. All that right now, I think, is kind of playing on her head. And then also all the drama she's dealt with Star, because we saw in the last season when her and Star got into it, during that performance, and Star ended up getting signed to the tour as a solo artist. So all of this shit is still fucking with her, and the girl is just overhyped and really excited, and she pretty much like, would you please stop talking to me, please? And old girl was like, well, I apologize, but I was just really admired. I just admired the fact that there's a black girl just like me who's out here doing it, and I'm a huge fan of that, and that really means something to me. But sorry, I won't bother you anymore, Miss Crane. And then as soon as she said that, that's when they started having issues with the plane, and they end up going to the plane crash. But at that moment, the two of them held hands. And they was like, we're gonna make it. Don't worry. It's like everything that they was going back and forth about completely went out of the window, because now their lives are on the line. And they said we were gonna make it. We're gonna make it. But then we see that, after the crash, we see that everybody's banged up, and we see the old girl. She's kind of trapped under a seat, and she didn't want to leave her, But pretty much the paramedics came in and pretty much tried to get all the people to safety, and she's like, I can't leave her. So we see that Simone, so we see that Alex is definitely having these PTSD moments, where she's constantly thinking about what happened that night. But then Alice was like, was about to leave, and she was like, Simone, you gonna be alright by yourself? She's like, girl, I'm 18, I'm good now. I'm like up in there getting turned up. She ends up meeting this girl or whatever, and both of them end up connecting because they both having issues with their husbands. Little does she know that, because what ended up happening is that the two of them end up having sex that night. So Simone then had her a little one night stand with the girl that she met. They started talking about their husbands, and then they saying that, I don't want to chill up in here. This kind of dead for me. She's like, well, hey, maybe we can go somewhere and have fun. So Simone hops out with old girl. They go out and they party, and they end up having sex. And Alex ends up picking her up, and she has another flashback of the crash. And then we find out later on, while they're at this event after Carlotta had taken over the whole meeting, and they became Gravity Music, Mateo calls his wife up there, and it's the same damn girl that had sex with Simone. And we come to find out that that Mateo and his wife are like swingers, because they get home after the event or whatever, and I think he's going to bring his wife into the music division as well. So here it is. They come into the house. They already got these two hotties who's pretty much on the couch waiting for them. And he was like, you ready to go? And she was like, not tonight, babe. And she goes upstairs, and he goes over there and is about to have sex with the two girls. So it's kind of like a common thing in their relationship. They like to bring, hey, each relationship is special in its own right. As long as both people are getting what they want and they both are equally satisfied, who am I to judge? But obviously, they like bringing people into the bedroom. That's kind of a thing that they like to do. But I'm pretty much thinking that the wife is probably more into women than she is into her husband. So she's kind of having these issues where I think the wife just doesn't know what she really wants. But oh yeah, and then one of the last and one scene that I also want to talk about is Noah. Noah's sitting on the back step, and Miss Bruce comes out there to talk to him. And I'm so glad that they are giving Miss Lawrence some more lines, because I'm a big fan of Miss Lawrence. And I love Miss Bruce, because Miss Bruce is on that real shit, and she off the hook. But she has a good conversation with Noah, and she pretty much counsels him. And, she pretty much asks him, are you holding? He's like, oh no, I ain't holding. He's like, look, I know that getting off this drug thing is not going to be easy. I know it's going to be hard, and there's going to be some tough moments, and you're going to get through them. But if you want me to be in your corner, you need to be honest. So again, are you holding? And we see that he had some drugs on him, and she was like, well, let me take you home. So yeah, even though he's holding it, he's not using. So we see that he's still fighting that. But then we come to find out the last time we saw Noah, in season 2, he was standing on top of a building about to jump. Because him and Star got into it, and Star pretty much told him that, you're just an addict. This stuff doesn't make you a better artist. So he was saying that, so what made you not jump? And he was saying it wasn't what that made me not jump, it was who. So we come to find out the person that stopped him from jumping was his damn father, and his father is played by Harold Piniu from Claws and from Oz, for those who go back with that. But yeah, he's a good actor, and he also was in The Best Man as well. So all of a sudden we come to find out that's his father. Now, for those who remember, his father left his mother and him for another man. So here it is. Him and his father had not seen each other in years, but that one night, his father was at the performance, and his father said, well, go ahead and jump then. You think you all grown, you think you all hard, just go ahead and do it. And if you ain't really about it, then get your ass down here, because you ain't about that life. And we see that him and his father get into it, and his father's like, how does it feel that I come to see my only son, and this is what I see was really going on? You come contemplating your life and shit? Because if you really about it, you would have jumped. So you ain't really about this. And then he pretty much tells him that, well, I'm going to see this moment as the first and the last time you ever say anything like that to me. So we see that is what made him recover, was the fact that he got into it with his father that he ain't seen in years. And that was his big issue. His main issue, I think his root was his dad. And now he realizes he needs to deal with a lot of this negative energy that he has been swimming in ever since his father left. So now he's trying to get himself together, and I was all happy about that. Then we see after Carlotta did that event or whatever, her and Mateo actually, talk or whatever. He was saying that, look, I'm gonna give you a shot, and you got about 7 months to prove to me. So you're pretty much still got your work ahead of you. And she says, I got you in 6. So we see that she has a round table with Take 3, and she lets them know, you bitches ain't going nowhere because you guys owe me an album, and you got 6 months to do it. So yeah, I built this thing for you guys to be a part of it, because Alex was moving to New York, Simone was supposedly going back to the Dominican Republic, and Star was going to go back on tour. But she was like, oh no, you guys are going to come together, you guys are going to make an album, and y'all need to work out all of this negative energy that you got going on. And it was in this situation where Star finally reveals that she's pregnant. And shout out to Dude Demarest and her husband, because she really is pregnant and they're expecting their first child. So shout out to Jude Demarest, who plays Star. And I wish you and I definitely wish you a happy delivery. But then the episode ends where Carlotta is in the old studio with her and Hyel, and it's like she's kind of talking out loud to Hyel. So it's like Hyel is still with her every step of the way. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Star. So until next time, everybody, take care.